Sirah, we were talking about having 4 children that you have, and you said something that I believe that really will help a lot of parents. You said they're out of their nest and you don't feel responsible for them anymore. And how true is that? I mean, what about that umbilical cord, that thing?
It's a lifelong process. Do I worry? Yes. Do I at times suffer over their suffering? To some degree, great concern and anxiety. But I think the most important thing we can do as a parent, even though it's really difficult, is try to cut the cord so that they can live their lives as they choose. Not as we choose, but as they choose. And it may be very different than what we had in mind for them. I mean, honestly, I get really irritated by parents in a social setting. Oh, my child's going to Yale. Oh, my child's doing this. And then they go on and on about how they're perfect little children all in a row. And I think to myself, okay, how wonderful that your child is a scholastic achiever, super achieving personality, perhaps taking after you. But not everybody's the same. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be happier than a child of, someone who's doing something else for a living that is bringing them their own personal certain kind of rewards. Full of surprises, and I pray every day that all of my children will be healthy and happy with what they're choosing in their lives. They'll find love for themselves and find love in their lives and, be of service to others in some form or another, and just do the things that fill their days with a sense of well-being. That's all I can ask for,
So what do we do with our own anxiety in the middle time when the children aren't doing well? This is something that's so chronic. When I read way back when about mothers, a good mother is so connected that you feel it. And it's like, how do you know when it's a third-party feeling or if it's your own?
I'll tell you the defining moment. My daughter looked at me one day. She was, I guess, probably around 18 years old and having certain challenges in her own life. And the way she looked at me and the way it felt in my heart, I was asking her what I could do to make her life better, to help her with some of the things she was dealing with. And she looked at me and just said, "Mom, just love me." That was all it took. And from that moment on, I realized, oh, I don't have to fix it or do anything. I just have to love you. Well, I'm good at that. So thank you. I felt like 1,000 pounds of weight had been lifted off my shoulders, because that is the bottom line. That's what we need to do, is just love them.
And as I shared with you, that everyone I've ever met that knows you said they feel loved. They feel in your presence like they're totally accepted for who they are.
Wow.
And
well, I've gone to my gravesite many times in my mind and imagined the end of my life, which is probably the most important time to reflect on how you lived. And I've seen people at my gravesite and having them in conversation. And what I want them to say about me is that I was a loving person. And so that's really important to me. And so I try to remember to be that way now when it matters, not later on and not when I'm older than I am. So, I think it's food for thought.
Beautiful. Because when we're older, we may not remember anything.
Right. We won't have a choice about anything.
And I was wondering how great that might be.
Yeah.
Not remembering anything. My tombstone probably will say, I won't have one because I'll be cremated. But besides that, she giggled her way into heaven.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's good. That's how you want to be remembered. And guess what? You live your life that way, making people laugh and bringing joy to others and tickling them with your thoughts. And you do a lot of that, Merrie Lynn. that is your specialty.
I love that idea, tickling them with your thoughts.
It's
like
what you do.
A little feather. We want a little feather. And, we can offer that. I give my feather to anyone who wants it. So if there's anyone out there right now who's feeling down, hear what Sirah said about she doesn't want to wait to the end of her life to be living how she wants, not only to feel inside, but how she wants to serve others. So this is really incredible stuff. It's so simple, isn't it?